So let's do a couple examples from the worksheet. I've chosen 1B here. Here it says it's 8 times 8 times 8 times, 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. What they want us to do is rewrite these with exponents. Now this should be old news for you. So first I'm going to take the 8. So this should be 8 when I multiply it 3 times, that's 8 cubed. Times, here now we look at the 9. This should be 9 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power of 6. So here we're simply, you can write it out the long way, and no reason we can't do it here, but a shorter hand way is using these exponents. The exponent describes how many times we multiply the number to itself. 8 cubed, 8 times 8 times 8. And then of course there are two different bases, 8 being the base, 9 being the base, so I have to write it as 8 cubed times 9 to the 6th. So that easy. Let's try one like 3 part A. Here it says a population of 25,000 increases by 1.2% each year. What's the population after 4 years? So here we're going to start with 25,000 people, and now it's going to increase, and we've talked about this already. So it's going to increase by 1.2%. So that means all of the population comes back. All 25,000 come back, plus some new babies are going to come along, and we're going to have an extra 1.2%. So take note, this means my multiplier, so all the population, so I'm going to add the 100%, all 25,000. So what I get here is 101.2% of the population is going to be what I'm multiplying, because all the 100% come back, plus all the little babies that are coming back. Now remember, when we write this as our multiplier, I have to move it 2 over, so this is 1.012. So we can write it in my equation, the explicit form, quite nicely. So y equals the starting value, we start with 25,000 people. And then my multiplier, I always like to write my multiplier in parentheses just to keep it separate. My multiplier here is this 101.2% to the power of x. Now the question says, what's the population after 4 years? Well, you know, one way to do this would be to write, well, we start off with 25,000. So after 1 year, I have to multiply. So after 1 year, I'd multiply by 1.012. After 2 years, after 3 years, and then after 4 years. So here we can see we have to multiply each time. So here if I'm going to start with the population here, and I want to get to the after 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, we can see that we're going to have to multiply this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So all I'm going to do, because this is going to be times 1.012, to get the next times 1.012 times 1.012. So using basically this idea that we have up here, where we change it from a base with an exponent instead of multiplying each time. So here, to answer after 4 years, we start with 25,000, and then increasing it after 4 years of growth, we're going to come out 4 years here. And then a little multiplication on the calculator. On this calculator, I'm going to do the exponent first using this button. So I'll start 1.012 to the power of, using this key right here, 4 equals, so here we have a growth rate over the 4 years, times the original population, and I get that after 4 years we should have 26,220. I'm going to round it to 22 people. I'm just going to round it right here so that we can talk about people as opposed to people parts. Let's try one more example here from your worksheet. 7b. Here they give us a table. Now I like it that they start us at sub-0 or x0. The initial value is 300. This is going to be important here, my initial. This is obviously my start, because start is always when x equals 0. So there's going to be my start value for y. And then they tell me when I bump up to 2, notice I'm going to leave a little space here, I get to 48. When I bump up to 3, It's not, oop, it looks like things are going down here, aren't they? So we're decreasing, we're not, so after 4 intervals here, we're down to 7.68. Now, one key is that they tell us that we have to use this formula here, which is telling us it's exponential, it means multiplying. So to find out what I'm multiplying, I notice they skip 1. So to find my multiplier, I'm going to go from here to here. What do I multiply to get here? Well, the easiest way, what do I multiply to 48? What do I multiply to 48 to make it equal 19.2? And it better be the same multiplier here. Well, what I'm going to do is use division. I'm going to take 48, divide up both sides. So I get 19.2 divided by 48. I get that b is 0.4. Let me double check that. So here I'm getting it's 0.4. Let me double check that by taking the 19.2. I'm going to multiply by 0.4 here times 0.4, and I better get 7 point, come on, there it is, 7.68. So here we have, here's my multiplier. Now I know my start value because it's when x is 0. So to write my equation, it starts at 300, and then my multiplier is 0.4 to the power of x. Bam, there you are. So hopefully that gives you a good start for a couple examples right off of your homework.